Then Terry heard the reloading of a gun. He was confident he was about to get shot in the back of the head, so he squinted his eyes really tight and braced for it, and remembers saying in his head, "God, please make it go quick." Then suddenly, the shooter walks away.
What up, everyone?
Hey, everyone.
What's up? I'm Rachel.
I'm Rebecca.
Nice to meet ya.
Thanks for joining us. I am going to jump right into this. This was actually going to be my bonus episode for this week, and I was simultaneously working on this one for the bonus, and Kai McGilvery for my regular episode. Guys, there's a lot on him. My God, I had to buy a book. I bought a book. And I was thinking one way, and now I'm kind of thinking the other way. Anyway, so I turned my bonus into this week's episode, and I'll do Kai for my next regular episode. But don't worry, I have a bonus for you Patreons and Apple subscribers. I got you. So we'll record that early this week too.
Nice. And top tier, I'm working on y'all's.
Woo!
Woo!
So today I am telling you about Terry Caffey. This one's dark, so if you're easily triggered by certain things, maybe Google this one. Stop what you're doing and Google it. Because some people like the trigger warnings for everything, and some people are like, well, if you trigger warn everything the whole time, I'm distracted by I don't know.
That's you. You don't like it.
Yeah. I don't prefer trigger warning. It's true crime, so that's all going to be horrible.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, okay, but that's good. Google it.
Google it.
This one's dark. Google it. I do not know it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to Google it, but go ahead.
Sources: Murderpedia, a show I don't want to say, Harold Banner, I'll tell you later, but a show.
Sure.
Harold Banner, a book called Terror by Night, The Times, Tyler Morning Telegraph,
God,
an interview with Pierce Morgan, which I know most people don't like him, but he got an interview with a crucial person in the story, so it's a question and answer thing. I'm not reading his opinions on the matter at hand. So here we go. It's 2008, and Terry Caffey was living in Emory, Texas, with his wife Penny. And Texas, I swear I don't have it out for y'all.
You're a big ass state.
You're a big ass state.
A lot of people there.
A lot of things happen there, man. But I know, in the last month, I think 3 of my 4 stories have been in Texas. So sorry about that.
Wow.
They lived with their 2 sons, Matthew and Tyler, who are 13 and 8, and their 16-year-old daughter, Erin. Erin was a freshman and just started dating her very first boyfriend, 18-year-old senior, Charlie Wilkinson. They didn't love the idea of their daughter dating a senior, but because Erin liked him so much, they decided to give him a chance. So Erin invited him over for dinner. But Terry, her father, did not get a very good first impression of him at all. He seems like a punk, to be honest.
Well, yeah. He's a senior. How old's the daughter?
16 and 18.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What gives you punk based on that? A lot of 18-year-olds.
You
dated at 16, you dated an 18-year-old, so kind of was a punk. Yeah. I
had a feeling that might come up.
Yeah.
I know. I'm saying any dad whose teenage daughter goes out with anyone, even a year or 2 older, he's just going to say, I was coming from the dad's perspective. Of course he's a punk.
Oh, yeah. Well, even more so with their first interaction, because I'm saying he's a punk.
Okay.
When Terry walked in from work, Charlie was sitting in his recliner, which is no big deal. But once you see your girlfriend's father walk in and you've never met him, stand up. Are you new? Shake his hand.
Did he have the legs out?
Yep.
The back was back. He's just chilling.
He was at home. He was sitting as if, he just made himself right at home. Get up and shake his hand. These things are normal.
No, that is unacceptable. 100%.
Well, Charlie did not do any of that. He did not stand up nor shake his hand. And Terry actually spoke first and said, "Hello, are you Charlie?" And Charlie's response was, "Yeah, and you are?" What's your problem?
I'm the owner of that fucking chair. Get your ass up.
Right.
That's what I am.
And Terry, he has a slow drawl accent that just comes with intimidation. He seems truly wonderful, but the accent alone tells me he is a no-nonsense type of guy.
Oh, yeah, that I wouldn't. A slow, southern drawl.
Yeah.
That's not intimidating at all. It's lovely.
Oh, I can see that. No, I mean, sure, it's lovely, but if you're I don't know, meeting your girlfriend's dad and he has that, he just seems no nonsense. He's an old country boy.
Sure.
So Terry said, I happen to be Aaron's father. Could you stand up and greet me? So
he
got
okay.
Up.
There it is.
There it is. So he got up, shook his hand, probably hurling insults in his head while doing it. Then he plopped right back down. And Terry kind of jokingly asked if he always sat in a chair like that, because I guess, again, I think he was kind of lounging. His foot was up, whatever. And Charlie goes, yeah. And Terry checks him and says, it's yes, sir, in my house. Now get out of my chair.
Yes, Terry.
Yeah, bothers me. I actually know people who don't do the whole yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, fine, whatever, to each their own. But the one worded yeah response is so rude to me. It's so short and dismissive.
Yeah.
Like maybe give it, oh, yeah, sorry, I have a chair like this at home and I'm used to just plunging into it. Maybe a little chuckle. Yeah, seems very uninterested.
I agree when it's when you're speaking to someone like your girlfriend's father or your friend's parent even.
Yeah.
Friends, like, there you go. You just did it. So like friends just talking to show understanding, I don't think it's rude.
Oh, sure.
But
obviously.
if my kid, I ask my kid something and they say yeah, or one of my friends ask a kid something and says yeah, I'm like, yes.
I know. It's just
yes, ma'am, and yes, sir,
right.
Especially sometimes. But I mean, even yes is bare minimum. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, needless to say, Terry did not like him from the jump, and especially for Aaron, because Aaron was this well-mannered, soft-spoken, yet energetic girl who had this magical singing voice, apparently, that people would gather at church every Sunday to hear. And here she is, dating the bad boy. Again, because she liked him so much, they were open to getting to know him. So he started coming over more. His parents were divorced, and his mom moved away somewhere, and his dad worked all the time. So he could kind of do what he wanted. And he spent a lot of time at the Caffeys. They would eat dinner, and then Charlie, Aaron, and her little brothers would go out back and make a bonfire until about 9 p.m., which was Terry and Penny's curfew for when he had to go home.
Jeez.
As weeks went on, they kind of started to accept this relationship. They didn't love it by any means, but they thought he had some redeeming qualities. For example, he started going to church with them, which they could tell he didn't like, but the fact that he would go regardless showed them, like, okay, maybe he's trying. But being a senior, he was more advanced than Aaron, obviously. And that's kind of rubbed off on her, and she started getting a little rebellious streak. She skipped school a couple of times, snuck out with him on occasion, stuff like that. She couldn't talk on the phone past a certain time of night, but she was caught breaking this rule several times, so they took away her phone. Very standard teenage crap.
Oh my
God.
God.
Charlie did not like how strict they were, which, by the way, it just doesn't seem that strict to me, but whatever.
Seems very reasonable. Very reasonable, but sure.
Who wasn't getting their phone taken away at 16 years old, please.
Oh my God.
But apparently they started limiting the time they could spend with each other. And Charlie told his friends he wished he could impregnate Aaron so her family would have to accept him. No, dude. In what world would that make them accept you?
That's not going to help. Babies don't help things.
No.
I don't know how else to say it.
And they would have to deal with you, but they wouldn't. That doesn't mean they'd accept you.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually if you did better, but why don't you just do better without getting their 16-year-old daughter pregnant?
Yeah,
whatever.
Let's do that first. We'll call that plan B, Charlie.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we're going to try just a normal approach first and just be nice
and
well-mannered.
Right. Luckily, Aaron caught wind of this and was like, no, that doesn't work for me. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Then, while on Facebook one day in February 2008, Penny's sister, so Aaron's aunt, was on Facebook and came across Charlie's profile, which obviously was not private because in 2008, no one had private profiles. So she sees all these drunk ass pictures of Charlie, but even worse, written on his wall from one of his friends was something to the effect of, this weekend, bring Jack Daniels to my house and bring that girlfriend of yours. We'll get wasted, we'll have fun, maybe get laid or something. Like Charlie comments like, fuck yeah. Something so douchey and so 18 of them.
So early Facebook days of them. We put it all out there, didn't we? Wow. Didn't give a shit.
I know. Didn't understand that people can see your wall or so. Whatever.
Wow.
So she called Terry and Penny, who went to the library to get online and see for themselves.
Stop.
I guess they didn't have a computer, but they found this, and they also found this MySpace page, which had even more posts of sex and alcohol and all the shit.
Oh my God. Angsty bullshit too, I'm sure.
Right.
That's what I think
So
of.
douchey. Let's get wasted and laid.
Oh God.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll bring the jack. Okay.
We really didn't give a shit back then, did we?
As you can imagine, they did not like this. Some
Sure.
cocky ass senior talking about getting his daughter wasted and having sex with her. Nah, that's
Nope.
not going to sit well. So that night, Terry and Penny sat Erin down on the couch and told her they didn't think Charlie was good for her at all, showed her all the posts they found, and she bursted into tears and said that she's been wanting to break up with him because he was controlling and she was over it, but she didn't know how. And if you love your dad and hearing him say he hates your boyfriend is enough for you. And it was enough for her because she ended it the very next day.
Not always, but sure.
Well, yeah, but it'll hit hard.
Yeah.
So she broke up with him the next day.
Good for her.
That week was tough because Terry's father passed away. So again, like Erin's, the kid's grandfather. And the funeral was late February. But in terms of home life, everything was back to normal. That gut-wrenching concern over your kid is gone. And Terry and Penny just had this sense of relief. Until that Friday night, March 1st, 2008. It was your typical family night in. They ate dinner, popped popcorn, and all sat on the couch to watch TV. And then a pillow fight ensued.
No, it didn't. Yes. No, it did not.
Which when I read that, immediately started laughing as if I was there. The entire family engaged in a pillow fight.
Oh, that's funny.
I know.
That's sweet. That's wholesome.
Sweet. There is no greater joy you get than when you smack your sibling in the face with a pillow.
Oh my God. Or your kid who's been a little shit. They could really do some damage, those parents.
Right.
Buckle up.
After this, they all go to sleep. And around midnight, their black lab, Max, starts going apeshit. For about 5 minutes, he's going crazy. Then he settles down. And Terry and Penny drift back to sleep. About an hour later, he and Penny are awoken to their bedroom door being busted open and shots being fired by 2 men. Terry jumps on Penny, so he's shot several times. He can feel the bullets go up his arm, then to his shoulder, then to his face, and that's when he's thrown out of bed. He can feel blood coming out of his ears, nose, eyes, and he's just gurgling. He can't feel his jaw or the right half of his body, and as he's going in and out of consciousness, he's thinking about his family.
Oh, no.
I know. There's no way in hell I'm going to get through this without getting a little teary.
I hate it.
He has no idea where his wife is, but can hear her yell his name and then hears a man's voice say something he couldn't make out. Then, why won't you die, bitch? But Terry can't move.
Oh, no.
He's not even sure at this point if he's alive, but he remembers thinking, I've got to save my kids.
Oh, my God.
All in all, he had been shot 11 times. Now, this is weird. Some sources, I'm about 50-50 split on my sources saying 11 times and 5 times. It's so weird. I think deliberate bullets must have been like 5, but then he got hit by 6 more ricochet bullets or something.
Yeah. Or 11 shots fired. He missed some.
No, because he says he was shot 11 times.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, or I think like one went through his cheek and then went out the other cheeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he was face down on the ground on his side of the bed when he feels someone hovering over him, just breathing heavily. Then they kick him. He has no idea who it is at this point, but they stand there for a few minutes just staring.
Oh, my God.
Then Terry heard the reloading of a gun. I cannot imagine the terror I would feel. He was confident he was about to get shot in the back of the head, so he squinted his eyes really tight and braced for it and remembers saying in his head, God, please make it go quick.
Oh.
Then suddenly the shooter walks away. And as he's walking away, Terry managed to open his eyes and see both men walking out of the room with their guns, but couldn't make out who they are.
Oh, my God. And he doesn't know where Penny is at this point, does he?
No, he can't stand. He's on the far side of the bed.
Uh-huh.
But when he saw the shooters start to go upstairs, that's when his parent adrenaline kicked in and he managed to stand up and attempt to go after them and save his family. But he is incredibly weak.
Stop. Oh, my God. I'm so nervous.
Then he heard his oldest son, Matthew, yell Charlie's name several times, followed by loud pops. And Terry said the moment he heard that, his eyes rolled back into his head and he collapsed back to the ground.
Oh, no. How old's the son?
13.
Oh.
That fucking punk ass kid is getting his revenge on Aaron by killing the entire family, you motherfucker.
I mean,
when Terry woke up again, the entire house was on fire.
What?
Most of the flames were coming from outside their bedroom, but he still managed to crawl to it in order to try to go upstairs to save his kids. Knowing the likelihood he could do that was slim.
I'm so annoyed.
I know.
Did the 13-year-old brother really have a big objection to your relationship? Why do you have to kill him? I mean, obviously, why do you have to kill anyone? Let's be honest. But like, really? The 13-year-old?
You know, there's an 8-year-old in the house.
Fuck out of here. There is. Okay, well, you didn't say anything.
I know, because I'm not getting into.
Oh, okay. So you said that was it.
But that's a crucial. I usually would not say anything not about any kids, but that's a crucial part that he yelled Charlie's name.
Yeah. No, I don't get it.
Now Terry knows.
That is so upsetting. So is Aaron there?
Yeah.
Did that?
All kids' bedrooms are upstairs.
Okay, so everyone. Oh God, what a piece of shit.
Yeah. But as Terry attempted to walk out the door, there's only one way into his bedroom, one way out. So he was going to risk it all, go towards the door, get upstairs to save his kids. But the flames were physically pushing him back. He couldn't get through it at all. So he crawled towards the bathroom, and that's when he sees his wife nearly decapitated on the floor.
Stop.
Her throat had been cut with a sword.
Oh my God.
He knew she was very much beyond help.
Oh my God.
The smoke is filling up quickly and he cannot see it at all, but he can hear all the windows start to explode. So he crawls into the bathroom and waits for that window to break so he can follow the sound because he can't even see the hand in front of his face. Once it does, he crawls towards the window, stands up, and manages to push out the screen. He was choking on so much blood and smoke that the first breath of fresh air kind of woke him up and pumped adrenaline back into him. He doesn't remember how much pain he was in, but he remembers how good that particular moment felt.
Oh my God.
Which I'm always like so impressed with the human body. I'm like, you remember that and that. Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot believe this.
So he manages to crawl. Oh God, it's such a bad shit story.
Oh, it's such a bummer. I'm so bummed.
I know. He manages to crawl out the window and it's only like a 4-foot drop, but that fall almost took him out. The wind was completely knocked out of him. He initially thought that was going to kill him, but he was determined to get to the side of the house to see if he could climb to the second floor. But when he looks up, the flames are pouring out of every single window and the roof is starting to collapse.
Stop.
It's so sad.
Oh my God, this poor man.
I know. He knows he can't do this on his own, especially with the amount of blood he's losing. So he decides he needs to get to his neighbor's house, Tommy and Helen Gaston, whose house is about 300 yards away. This is East Texas, pretty rural. And I think their house was one of 3 on that street.
Oh, yeah.
So very spaced out. And this one in particular, their closest neighbor is 3 football fields away.
Right.
And it's pitch black dark. The fire is the only thing that's providing him any sort of light.
Oh my God. Well, maybe they see it. Oh God.
Later, they say they wouldn't. It's like 2:00 at this point.
Oh, right.
Later, they said they thought they may have heard a few gunshots, but they thought it was thunder, like from a far distance. That's how, they're spaced out.
300 yards is so far.
Yeah. So he starts making his way. He takes 2 to 3 steps, then falls down. Gets up, takes a step, falls down. And he does this for as long as he can, but he's getting nowhere. So he starts bear crawling through the thorns, rocks. Then he comes to his barbed wire fence, crawls through it. About halfway there, he looks back and his house is pretty much completely gone.
Oh my God.
The roof has collapsed and he knows there is no one he can save. So he lays down and just wants to die. If his family is dead, he wants to be too. And he keeps saying out loud, he just wants to go with them.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh, I'm teary.
But as he's looking at the fire, he realizes if he dies, then no one will know who did this. And he becomes pissed. Now he's more determined than ever to at least make it to Tommy and Helen's house so he can tell them who did it before he dies.
Attaboy, Terry.
I know.
You sweetheart.
So he gets his breathing in order. He stands up, takes a step, falls back down. He manages to get 2 to 3 steps in each time before falling again, and he does this pattern the entire way. Then he falls into a creek that divides the 2 properties, and he is certain he's going to drown because he's really struggling on how to get out. But luckily, after several minutes, he manages to find the other side and he crawls out. His adrenaline, my God, I can't say it enough, is pumping, especially because he knew this creek meant he's getting close. Mm-hmm. Then he gets to his neighbor's barbed wire fence. And this was heavily barbed wire. It was not just one line, it was several. So he starts crawling through it, and it takes forever. It's tearing his clothes, his skin, but he makes his way through and suddenly feels a driveway.
I am about to throw up. I have chills too, and it's 400 degrees in this room.
But he said this was the hardest part, harder than his journey there, which I can only imagine because your body is probably telling you, stop, you need to rest. Yeah. But your mind is like, fuck that. So it probably made it very difficult. Mm-hmm. He gets to the front door and starts banging on it, and it takes what feels like hours before a porch light comes on. Knowing Tommy is coming to the door, he can finally listen to his body, and he just collapses to the ground.
God, poor Tommy.
I know. When Tommy Gaston answers and sees him, Terry says, "They're all gone. Charlie Wilkinson murdered my family."
Oh, my God.
And Tommy immediately calls 911. And again, adrenaline. It's just so fascinating to me. It's still pumping because Terry stays awake the entire time. When cops get there, he's able to tell them his wife and 3 kids are still inside that house. Charlie Wilkinson did it. Even the reason why he did it, which is he obviously assumes because Aaron broke up with him 2 days prior. He told them there was another man with them who helped him, but he has no idea who it was. Around 4:15 a.m., they transport Terry to the trauma center and he goes into emergency surgery. He wakes up 12 hours later to recount everything that happened to the police. And one of the deputies who wasn't at the scene of the crime is listening to Terry and is shocked to hear Charlie Wilkinson's name because his own kids are friends with him.
Oh, God.
It's that small town.
Yeah.
And that particular cop knew Charlie often stayed with the guy who was older than him, and he had a house to himself, so Charlie could do whatever he wanted. So cops go to this house, and sure enough, there he was, asleep in bed. And next to him was the very gun used that night of the murders and very bloody boots. So they arrested him right then and there.
Who is this older guy he's staying with? Where?
His friend's brother, actually. Okay. Matthew Wade, if you're being honest.
Would love to know. Where are your parents? I know. What a piece of shit.
Yep. But it's one of his second semester senior year. So, of his senior year. So,
you don't study as hard.
Well, no, but you have looser strength. This is a Friday night. He's 18. He's out. What do you mean?
Sure. I see.
So,
I thought you meant so he's just kind of sowing his wild oats, senior year, second semester.
Your parents tend to get a little loosen the leash a little.
Sure. Yeah.
So 2 days, they arrest him without incident. He goes in. 2 days later, still in the hospital, Terry wakes up and sees his sisters by his side. She leans in really close to him and says, "The doctors and police don't want you to know this yet, but you're my brother and I'm not going to keep this from you."
Oh my God.
Aaron's been arrested.
I knew it. Yep. She had snuck out. She wasn't there.
Oh, we're getting there.
I'm sorry, everyone, that she's doing this to you.
Sorry. I really do. I feel like my darker episodes are usually the bonus episodes, but it's a survivor story. It's just so, oh God. Anyway, we got to get into it. Terry assumed Aaron died that night, but that was not the case. After everyone went to bed, Aaron snuck out and was in Charlie's car down the street during the murders. I was shaking. I was so pissed off having to re-listen to this I Survived for this stupid ass episode, which is that other source I didn't want to say up there.
Sure.
Even though you pretty much know from the gates there's a survivor, but still.
Yeah, I remembered. But stupid being because this is like fucking ridiculous.
Right.
That it came to this. Yeah. His story is not stupid.
I said
whatever, y'all get it.
I said for this stupid ass episode. I'm calling our episode stupid.
This is a stupid episode? How dare you?
Well, my I had to do some stupid research for.
Oh,
I had
my
to
God.
re-listen to
No.
Terry recount that pillow fight, which started with audible laughing for me, were now sobs.
I mean,
That night, you decided to get hyper and goof off with your family, your little brothers, while knowing they would never see the light of day again. If that particular night of joyful laughing didn't change your mind, you are a true fucking monster, and I want nothing but the worst for you.
for real.
And it's so weird to see her, this interview with Pierce Morgan from
Oh,
2016.
that's who he interviews?
Yes.
Stop.
He asked her to sing because he heard she had a great voice and sometimes moved people to tears, and he wanted to hear it. And she gets all
care.
I know, but she gets all bashful and she does it. And he's like, damn, your voice is good. And she just sits there kind of holding her arms, like nervous and kind of awkwardly thanks him with a little shy giggle, like, thanks, as if she was like put on the spot in the middle of, class or something.
Mm-hmm.
You almost forget, oh, wait, no, you're in a prison jumpsuit because you're a monster. It's so bizarre. She really does. She seems very nice, very unthreatening. And it almost makes you feel like the sympathy, like, oh shit, 16-year-old brains by no means are fully developed. Maybe she's not a complete asshole and she really didn't fully understand the consequences of this. But then I'm reminded of a quote from her own criminal therapist who said, I've never come across anyone as dangerous as Erin Caffey. She is nothing like she seems.
Oh,
so there you go.
Wow.
So after they busted into that house and arrested Charlie, they got an emergency search warrant to go back and look for more evidence. That owner is probably like, fucking A, dude. Like, what did you drag me into?
For real.
Anyway, they see what they thought was a blonde wig, but when they tried to move it, it turned out to be Erin Caffey hiding under a blanket in the closet. I assume she was in bed with Charlie, but once the cops came knocking, she got out and ran to the closet, leaving the love of her life high and dry. She was acting disoriented and said that she didn't know where she was. So they took her to the hospital to run tests and do a rape kit. And after being released, she went to her maternal grandparents' house. They told her that her dad survived and she acts relieved. So the following day, they're going to visit Terry in the hospital, and for their safety, they're being escorted by police. On the way, they got a call on their radio that Charlie had implicated Erin as the mastermind. And right there, the escorting cops pulled over the car and arrested Erin in front of her grandparents.
Wow.
Charlie had also implicated his friend, 20-year-old Charles Wade, that was the other guy in the house that Terry saw, and Charles's girlfriend, 18-year-old Bobby Gail Johnson, who was in the car with Erin while this all went down.
Oh my God.
She is a real dipshit for going along with this. Whatever.
How could you? Oh God. Whatever. I'm sick of even questioning it. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I know.
It's such a bummer. How can you convince other people you're bringing in and convincing them, like, at least ride along with us? Like,
right.
What do you mean? No.
Right.
You dipshits,
thinking
accomplices, stop and call the cops. These two are outside of their minds.
They all are, clearly.
Clearly you all are. This is crazy. I hate everyone.
I know. And all four of them are being charged with 3 counts of capital murder.
Yeah, I bet. Of course they are.
Terry is in complete shock hearing this. And to say he struggled with everything on top of now knowing what he knows is an understatement. He had to deal with so much. Mind you, he buried his father less than a week ago.
I know. That's what I was thinking too.
He had night terrors at the hospital. A doctor once dropped his clipboard and Terry ripped out his IV to run.
Oh my God.
So sad.
Oh, this poor man.
I know. And then he gets this little light of hope that his daughter's alive. Oh, but she's been arrested for her involvement, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which he didn't know what it was yet, what her involvement was at this point. But the moment he was released from the hospital, he went to go visit Erin. She walked in with her orange jumpsuit, but because her trial was pending, her lawyer advised she not say anything about that night. So Terry didn't get to ask one question about it. Could you imagine? I'd be like, fuck that. Tell me why you did this.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He just had to wait. While awaiting pretrial hearings, Terry stayed with his sister and brought everything he owned, which at this point fit inside a cardboard box, and his depression hit new lows.
Yeah.
So his plan was actually to take his own life. He even had a day picked out. And when that day came, he went back to to his property where a pile of ashes were, and that's where he was planning to do it. But while he was kind of kicking around the ashes, just thinking about all the shit that had gone down there, he saw a scrap of paper from a book. It's just so fucking crazy.
Oh my God. I'm already feel my eyes coming.
He picked it up and it was mostly burned, but the part that wasn't said, this is so fucking crazy.
Oh God.
It said, I couldn't understand why you would take my family and leave me behind to struggle along without them. I may never totally understand that part of it, but I do know that you're in control.
What?
It was from a book called The Blind Site about a man who loses his wife and kids in a car accident. And it was actually written by Terry's a family friend, James Pence. He wrote several books and he gave Penny this particular one like 3 years prior to the murders, but Terry's never read it.
What?
How crazy is that? Finding that page made him not go through with this plan, and that page of the book is now framed in his house.
Oh, good. That is
how
insane.
I mean,
yeah. Wow. That would really give you some pause for sure. Oh.
He's actually ended up writing a book of his own alongside James Pence, his friend, and it's called Terror by Night, which is what I sourced at the beginning.
James Pence sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he's written a few books. Erin initially told police that she had been drugged and kidnapped, but the 3 others say that's not true. And all of their stories match entirely, down to the fact that when leaving the crime scene, Erin turned around to look at the burning house and said, holy shit, that's awesome.
What?
They all 3 said she said that. It's too specific to be allowed.
Oh, no.
So here's what we learned through interviews and the court hearings. Her accomplices and even people at school said Erin had been talking about wanting to kill her parents for a couple of months. And according to Charlie, he suggested they run away, but she said as long as they're alive, they could not be together. Which, why? Or fine, don't run away. Wait less than 2 years, you bitch, and you'll be 18 and you can do whatever the hell you want.
That's what I was going to say. Fine, don't run away, whatever. Or just be sneaky, go on your little dates for less than 2 years. And then when you're 18, you can do whatever the hell you want. Marry them.
Yeah. Date as many losers as you want. You fucking.
I hate her. It does make it so clear how undeveloped this 16-year-old brain can be. I know, I get it, but
yeah, I know, and we talk about that because she eventually changes her story to say she was manipulated by him. That's what I struggle with. That the influence of a dude you've known for 5 months, because that's how long they dated, 5 months, can undo the influence your parents had on you for 16 years. I don't get that because she does eventually say that he was a mastermind and I was coerced, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get to all that. Okay. But I really struggle with that question.
I'm pissed.
I know I'm pissed. So anyway, according to the 3 accomplices, it was her idea. Charlie suggested they run away. She says, no, we have to kill them. And he says, okay, let's kill them. And they even had a secret word for it, for their plan, which was FUBAR. I Googled it, assuming it was some acronym, which of course it is. It stands for fucked up beyond all recognition. So they would say like, I want a FUBAR, whatever. So fucking stupid and juvenile. So Charles, so that's kind of confusing that it's Charlie Wilkinson, Charles Wade.
Yeah.
And Bobby first went to the Caffeys around midnight, but their black lab Max, who lives, people, Max is alive.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He was outside and barking too much, so they left. Phone records showed that Erin called Charlie several times to tell them she would take care of the dog and to come back. So they did, and Erin got in the car and they drove around for a little bit and went to a cemetery for about an hour to discuss the plan. So creepy. At which point, none of them spoke up about what a shitty idea this was, so on they went. Although Bobby does say that she was freaking out and tried to talk her out of it, but who knows if that's true. I don't even know what Bobby's doing there. You have no active role in this. Get out while you can. What are you thinking?
And the train has left the station for these people.
Right.
They're in it and they're lunatics. You think it's a bad idea? Go tell the police. Don't try to talk them out of it. Go tell the police.
Shut up,
Bobby.
Car.
I'm done. I don't care what you have to say, Bobby. I'm sorry. How old was she? Was like an adult woman,
18.
Right? Oh, never. Well, I mean, yeah, but whatever. No. You don't go discuss the plan at a cemetery and then say, this is a bad idea. You run to a police station.
You get out of the car and you run.
I know. What are you doing? Whatever. We could do this all day. This could be the whole episode.
And sure, being 18 years old doesn't necessarily mean she's more mature. It doesn't affect her maturity that much, but certainly affects her sentencing. Okay?
Okay, Bobby.
Okay, Bobby.
I bet you do have regrets now.
Sure do. So they parked the car outside the house. The two girls were in the back seat, and obviously Aaron left the front door unlocked, so they easily walked in. They bust into the primary bedroom. They shot Terry first, and this is all court hearings and everything. So this is and when he was flown off the bed and knocked unconscious, they assumed he was dead. When shooting Penny, the gun jammed, and she yelled for Terry, and Charlie yelled, "He's dead. Why won't you die, bitch?" Which checks out.
Oh, wow. That's what Terry remembers.
So that's when Charles Wade got the sword and slit her throat, nearly decapitating her. They got the gun to work and reloaded it over Terry's body, but didn't want to risk it jamming again. So just kicked him to make sure he was dead and left. Again, checks out to what Terry said happened. Then those pieces of shit went upstairs and did what they did. And then they set the house on fire and left. Meanwhile, in the car, Bobby Johnson said Erin was jumping up and down in her seat the entire time, excited.
No, sorry.
Not a shred of fear in her voice.
Okay.
According to the three accomplices, the moment the boys got back into the car, Erin excitedly asked, "Are they dead? Are they dead?" And they said yes and got the hell out of there. And that's when Erin turned to the burning house and said, "Holy shit, that's awesome. So fucked up, I can't stand it."
Oh my God. I cannot muster up sympathy or empathy or anything for a young developing brain. That is sad. But when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, no, fuck you, bitch.
I know.
Sorry.
I left my empathy in my other pants.
Right.
I saw that comment once on Reddit and it was funny.
Oh my God. It's
infuriating. It's infuriating. It was actually Charles Wade's brother's house where they went. I remember when you said, who the hell? Yeah. It's Matthew Wade. That's where they found Charlie and Erin, but the other two didn't stay. They just dropped them off and left. Charlie and Erin had sex that night, and a few hours after falling asleep, the cops come knocking. Again, Erin initially said she was drugged and kidnapped. She said she woke up to a room full of smoke and two guys who demanded she get on the ground and she didn't know who they were because the smoke was so thick. And the next thing she remembered was the cop finding her in that house. But her clothes or hair did not smell like smoke. And if you have a wood burning fireplace you're sitting 10 feet from, you're going to reek of smoke. Right. So they're already a little sus on that. Plus, they have the cell phone records showing how many times she called Charlie during this, quote, abduction.
Yeah. Well, and can't they check her lungs too? Like they're like, you weren't in a house that was burning down. Sorry.
Yeah.
But thanks.
And she said she was drugged. They tested. She had nothing in her system. So. Right. She changes her story and says that Charlie was the mastermind, but she didn't really think he would do it. He came up with the code word FUBAR, but whenever he brought it up, she thought he was joking and whatever. I really hate that excuse. It's so annoying. We've heard it a few times. Like, I didn't think he was serious. I didn't think he was actually going to do it. But there comes a time when it does not become a joke. So what happened when he said, "Tonight's the night"? Did you still think he was joking? What happened when he walked into your house with a loaded gun and a sword? Did you still think he was joking? Like, when do you snap out of it? I just don't get it.
I know.
So that's obvious bullshit. So she kind of backed off on that too. And in her latest interview, I think her latest is with Piers Morgan in 2016, she said she was blinded by love. And she admits she could have stopped it, but chose not to. She's blinded by love for her dreamy teenage boyfriend who she's destined to be with forever after dating for 5 whole months in high school. Fuck off.
God.
By all means possible, we must be together. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God. No.
During all the pretrial hearings and the more that comes out as Terry's having to sit here and listen to this, he's sitting only a few seats back from Charlie and Charles, just staring at the backs of their heads. And he starts wondering how easily it would be to sneak a gun in and just shoot them dead.
Do it.
For a full month, he contemplates this, and he even buys a gun. He had it in his truck. And when he drove to the courthouse one day, he even backs his truck into a spot ready to make a run for it. obviously very ambitious, thinking he would get 2 steps out of that courthouse before getting caught.
Right.
Like, damn it if he wasn't going to try.
I mean, and actually I'm torn. I'm like, I say do it, but no, don't. I want them. They're so young.
Yeah.
They have the worst lives ahead of them.
Yeah. And he doesn't do it, but he did all that. But when he grabbed the gun to get out of his car, he was shaking so badly. He knew he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Terry.
November 2008, Charlie and Charles struck a plea deal to get the death penalty off the table, which Terry requested. He wanted them to sit with this for the rest of their lives. So they both pled guilty and got a life sentence without the possibility of parole. But part of the plea deal was that they had to sit down with Terry face to face and explain their actions.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Can they be cuffed and he not, and no cops or anyone in there?
I'm sure that they're no, I bet they're supervised, but
no,
I'm sure they're cuffed and Terry's not.
Oh, course. I know, but unsupervised is the main thing.
Yeah, no, that's not happen. But
damn.
So they said, "Have a nice life." Sentence that is.
Wow, and a long one. Oof. Would hate that.
Bobby Johnson pled guilty, and she was given 40 years. 40 years because you wanted to hang out with your dipshit boyfriend.
Good.
You are the accomplice's girlfriend.
It's so.
What the hell were you thinking? Even being privy to this, God. Right.
I hate.
And apparently, she was much like Aaron, like a happy-go-lucky teenager. This 18-year-old at the same school as Aaron and Charlie, and was very involved in her school's theater until she started dating Charles Wade. Then she started skipping school and became obsessed with just hanging out with her new boyfriend, which actually I find normal. You have a 20-year-old boyfriend, sure, skip school, have a little rebellious stage, whatever. Once he presents the idea of murdering a family and asks you to sit in the car while he does it, bye.
I mean,
peace out, Boy Scout. You're on your own. I'm calling police. What are you doing?
I've questioned everything. Okay. Well, actually, never mind. Get to Aaron's sentence, and then
Aaron also pled guilty, and because she was a minor, she was given 2 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 25 years. She was tried as an adult, but because she was only 16 years old, she wasn't eligible for the death penalty or life in prison without parole. So, she'll be eligible in whatever that is, 25 years, 2009 plus 25 years, 2037, 34.
24. Wow.
She maintains that she was not the mastermind. Everyone else says, yeah, right.
Okay.
Terry finally got to sit down with Charles and Charlie. And he actually said Charlie was the only one who showed a little bit of remorse. He kept looking down the ground. He was crying. He said he has no good reason to give him as to why he did it. He said, I thought it was the only way me and Aaron could be together type thing. Charles Wade said he did it for the $2,000 he was promised. So Terry said, why did you need $2,000? And he said, it was to gain custody of his son. To which Terry said, the fuck? And I'm just kidding. Terry's not a cusser. But he did point out to Charles that he's killed children to gain custody of his own child. And Charles said, yes, I did.
Wow. You're such a piece of shit.
He does seem like a piece of shit. That was his role, the upstairs part. Oh, I know. And because I know it's going to come up. I don't know why you haven't asked that motive to kill the brothers, but.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Okay. That's what I was going to say when I said, well, tell me Aaron's first. I need to know two things, really. Why the brothers? Why? And second, what was the plan? So she was going to come home and be like, oh my God, snuck out and I came home and my whole family's gone.
I don't even think they got that far.
Okay.
That was not brought up.
The house is on fire. What do I do?
I know.
I snuck out for a second and came back. Like, what was God, what a fucking idiot. Okay, but the main one was why? Why the brothers?
Okay, so apparently in the car that night, while they were driving around discussing it, Charles Wade brought up killing them as potential witnesses. And Aaron's response to this was, do what you need to do.
What?
Pisses me off beyond belief. Okay, here's the thing. Those boys would not hear several gunshots and a huge struggle and come downstairs to investigate what was going on. I assure you, they are kids. They are not going to run towards danger like that. They're going to hide, you fucking assholes. And actually, it was the reason you went upstairs that got you caught immediately. I mean, they were probably going to get caught anyway because let's face it.
That's for sure.
But it was Matthew yelling Charlie's name that gave Terry the will to live and get his ass caught. So
wow. Do what you need to do. You're such a twat. Everyone in this story is a twat.
I know.
Except Terry and the victims. All the victims, I mean.
So then Terry finally sat down with Aaron. And the first thing he did was show her every single gunshot wound he had. And they both started crying. She told him that she was only planning to run away, but Charlie was manipulative and controlling, and she got caught up in his romanticizing of it. She admits that she did say that she wanted them dead, but said it was a dumb, angsty teenage thing, just venting because she wanted more freedom and that she was sorry. And he tells her that he will always love her. Even if she were the one to pull the trigger, he would always love her and stand by her. He believes that Charlie was the mastermind and has forgiven her. For him, he says he just has to.
Yeah.
I'll give you an update on Terry, but first, we've talked about this before, and I struggle with the whole he made me do it. I was manipulated by him. When thinking back to her upbringing, which by all accounts seemed great. I know it's probably not so black and white, but how does the influence of this fucking punk negate the last 16 years of influence your parents had on you? Maybe a question for the hosts of Little Brain Campaign podcast, who are adolescent mental health providers and listeners, because I do not understand.
We should have asked them.
If she had a shitty, unstable childhood with terrible home life and then was easily manipulated by this dude, I can see that. Mm-hmm. But it's my understanding she didn't. It's my understanding she had loving parents who cared so much about her, they sat her down and expressed serious concern over her relationship with that punk. Right. It's my understanding they engaged in family pillow fights. So,
no.
Yet again, it's a question of what the hell happened. Because she literally tells Piers Morgan in 2016 that she had it made. Her exact quote was, "When I look back on it now, this was all just so stupid. I mean, for what? They weren't beating me. They weren't starving me. I had it made." She goes on to say her parents got her a car, let her have a job, which allows you all the freedom you need at 16 years old. You get to make your own money to spend it however you want. You get to drive to wherever you want. That's it for you.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of teenagers don't even get that sort of freedom.
I know.
So what more do you need that is worth killing your entire family?
She is saying that now, though?
Yeah. So that's what I'm like, wow.
Your brain, I guess, is just mush.
I know.
When you're a teenager. But like,
which is hard for me to fathom because I remember being 16.
Yeah. And I would have never, ever, ever done anything like this.
Yeah. I mean, like, is it that underdeveloped, or was she just like wired wrong to begin with? And we just had no idea? Because her formative years, which are quite crucial in your like behavioral and values and whatever, seemed great. I don't understand.
No.
But I guess I never will.
Never will. Thank God. I hate that. That is the most bummer story.
No, it's not, because today,
oh God,
Terry is a minister and has visited 600 public schools and 800 churches to share his story. He's remarried a woman named Karen and adopted her 3 kids as his own. And they had a child together. So they have 4 kids together.
Stop. Oh my God. I mean, chills.
I know. He does not go to their old property anymore. Too many bad memories. And as of a few years ago, he was going to the prison to visit Aaron every month or every other month. I'm not sure where that stands now.
Oh, I'm glad that he got a second chance at life.
I know. So that is my incredibly dark survivor story of Terry Caffey and his poor family.
Oh my God. Wow. Thanks for that.
I'm sorry, everyone. And I'm sorry. Patrons: Emily, Diana, Ashley, Blythe, Tara, Carly, Liz, AKM, Aaron, Anita, Brooke, Caitlin, Beth, Alden, Jess, Mindy, Michelle, Carly, Ashley, another Ashley, Tara, Jamie, Evangelina, Holly, Casey, Haley, Ruby, Lauren, Charlotte, Sophie, Shay, I know, Kendra, Jennifer, Natalie, Trefethan. I'm going to screw that up. I'm sorry. Amber, Missy, Lucy, MJ, Jody, Holly, Cody.
Damn.
Yay!
Stop it.
Okay. Customs. Thanks everyone for joining Patreon. Love y'all.
Oh my God. Thank y'all so much. You have no idea.
That's so helpful.
No idea.
Customs. First one's from Tom. Hey, this is Tom from Memphis. And my shout out is for Kristen in Mississippi. Just wanted to say, thank you, Kristen, for being part of my day. You're a badass mom and a badass teacher. People are the worst, but thank you for not being.
Oh, that's nice.
That is nice.
We love Memphis and Mississippi.
Yeah.
So, holla.
Second one's from Randy. I want to shout out you, Rach and Rob. I drive DoorDash and listen to y'all while driving for hours each night, and you help the nights go by faster, keep me entertained while I'm out. Thank you for all the time you've shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Randy Pandy. That's how you signed it, Randy Pandy.
Oh, I love that.
Third one is from Anastasia. Shout out to my Earth cats, Boo and Lily, and my angel Kitty Moo. Moo passed on February 28th, 2025, and she was my true crime buddy. I think she would have liked you both.
Oh, well, we would have loved her.
Absolutely.
How about that?
And the last one's from Sophie. Hi, I just want to shout out my amazing, perfect husband. I've been so lucky to have him support me through my dream graduate program, my upcoming internship this summer in Ghana, and my chronic health issues. People are the worst, but he's the best. You are the best.
Nice.
That is so nice.
Wow.
Thank you so much, everyone. That really means a lot to us.
It really does.
Signing up, and y'all just keep on telling people.
Well, keep on delivering. Thank y'all so much.
Y'all are the best. People are the worst. Bye.